You're listening to American Top 40. I'm Shadoe Stevens. We're a little more than halfway through this week's electrifying shower of hits from the official Billboard chart. The 19 biggest jolts of the week are coming up in a moment. Shadoe Stevens on American Top 40. At number 18 is the title song from the album The Lover in Me, the latest album from Sheena Easton. The Scottish star told us, "For this album, musically, I wanted to consolidate the path I'd set from 1983, starting with Telephone. That was the first album I'd ever recorded in America, and it gave me my first dance hit. That followed with Strut, Sugar Walls, and You Got the Look with Prince. I mean, there have been ballads in there too, but the thrust of my career since '83 has been dance-oriented pop."
As we roll into the fourth hour here on CT40, there's a female star in our survey whose whole career hinged on one make-it-or-break-it audition. If she failed, total oblivion. But if she was a hit, she was virtually guaranteed instant stardom. The story of that one-in-a-million chance is coming up.
Casey's Coast to Coast. Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Case. Now we're up to the latest hit for a female star whose career began with a make-it-or-break-it audition. She had an even chance of walking out a star or having to start all over again. Back in the late 70s, she attended the Royal Scottish Academy of Drama and Art. She graduated with a teaching credential and was about to settle down to a career teaching music in an elementary school in Scotland. But fate decided to take a hand in this woman's life. The Royal Academy was contacted by the BBC. The network was interested in finding a young singer whose career they could follow for a primetime special called The Big Time. It would show an up-and-coming entertainer recording his or her first album, being groomed for stardom, and being thrust into the limelight. The subject of this special would have it made. And one of the names the school gave to the BBC was Sheena Easton. They interviewed her. They liked her. But they told her there was one hitch. They couldn't do a show on her unless she had a recording contract, and she had to land that herself. Although Sheena had done some singing in local pubs, she'd never dreamed of pursuing a recording career. Still, she knew she had to give it a try. Through the Royal Academy, she arranged an audition with EMI Records. But it wasn't a friendly audition. EMI didn't like the idea of signing such a complete unknown. They later said they were giving her a listen simply as a courtesy. Well, Sheena gave them a lot more than they expected. The record company may not have been interested, but Sheena knew her whole life was riding on this one roll of the dice. And when her piano player hit those first chords, Sheena gave it everything she had. She amazed the executives from the record company, and EMI ended up giving her a one-album contract. The BBC followed Sheena around for the next year and broadcast her story to the nation. And Sheena Easton became a star, thanks to that one make-it-or-break-it audition, and thanks to her great talent as well.
This is American Top 40 in Hollywood, and I'm Shadoe Stevens. And here's the story of the star who almost lost out on the big break that launched her career because she was too old. It all began about 10 years ago. The singer grew up in Scotland. She finished college in the city of Glasgow, where she also sang with a local band. Then she moved down to London, joined another band, and they started hitting the clubs in search of a recording contract. And that's when she got an incredible break. She auditioned, along with hundreds of other teenagers, for a BBC television special. It was a documentary about the first year in a professional teenage singer's recording career. Well, out of all those hundreds of eager competitors, this pretty dark-haired Scottish girl was the one who was picked, and then almost rejected because the TV producers thought she was too old, 19 years old, and she wouldn't be a teenager much longer. But they figured that she had the best chance to actually get a contract. The idea was to film her audition with a record company, and then, if she was signed, to continue filming her adventures during the first year. So the BBC producers persuaded a record company to grant a live audition. The film crew followed the 19-year-old into a studio, the cameras rolling. They filmed her singing 3 songs for the label's executives, who then left the room for a private corporate conference, and then they reappeared 15 minutes later to offer the teenage girl a contract, just like a Hollywood movie. When the BBC documentary was aired a year later, more than 20 million viewers in Britain watched this Scottish girl, Sheena Easton, start her career. That was 10 years ago. Sheena's at number 21 this week on American Top 40 with the 12th Top 40 hit of her career. Here's The Lover in Me.
Hi, it's Sheena, and we're counting down around the world with Shadoe on AT40.
Well, like Roxette, this next artist has also chalked up quite a few top 40 hits. In fact, she's been hitting for 10 years, and that includes 14 top 40 hits, 7 of them top 10s, including 1 number 1. So, is it still exciting when she's got the radio on and suddenly there comes her song? That's what we asked Sheena Easton. She's at number 28 with her latest hit, What Comes Naturally. And here's what Sheena told us.
I still get thrilled. I mean, it's the most exciting, especially the first month of release when you're driving along and it comes on. You know what happens to me a lot, too? I always think it's in the great design, but I'm sure it's just coincidence. Often when my morning alarm goes off, it's playing one of my songs, if it happens to be a hit. God willing. When The Lover in Me was number 2, and they played it, pretty constantly, I used to wake up to that. Now, that can be a little irritating because you come out and you think you're dreaming, you hear yourself, but, I don't know, it's a comforting feeling, I guess, more than anything else. It starts off as thrilling, and then it ends up just reassuring, it just makes you feel like safe or something, that it's working.
Let's get together and do what comes naturally.
What Comes Naturally, the 14th top 40 hit for 32-year-old Sheena Easton, takes a backwards move from number 22 to number 28.
Hi, it's Sheena, and we're counting down around the world with Shadoe on AT40.
Hey! Hit me! The hits with the Shadoe.
I'm Shadoe Stevens, and here's a story of an artist who had to have it the moment she heard it. That's the story behind Sheena Easton's latest hit, What Comes Naturally. It moves up 4 to make the top 20 this week, and it's the title song from her latest album.
It was written by Nick Mundy and Antonina Armato and produced by Nick Mundy and Denny D'Anti. The title track came to us about almost towards the last quarter of the album. In fact, it was the third last song, I think, that we recorded. From the second I got it, I knew that was, if not the first single, at least the first or second. I was so excited about it. I called up halfway through here in the demo. I was still playing while I was on the phone to say, you better hold this song for me because I definitely want to cut it. And we recorded it the next week. It was one of those instant things. That was a good indication to me that it was a strong song.
The hits from coast to coast.